the only one that feels this way.
Oh,
I
it
would like
started.
to understand. Oh, good.
I'm
No, you're
curious, Brian. The short answer, what we were going to talk about, is I I have Grok, so I
Yep.
know I've already got access, and something's already on my phone. It's already there. Part of my social media. It's tied into my X, so it knows my all the stuff that you're saying. It has
Yeah.
access. It's already there.
Yeah.
And then I hear of people using Claude when they're running an agent. And that agent, because it knows what's new, it creates two more agents and it does all this other stuff that I feel like I would have to ask Grok to do. And anyways, you put your finger up. Do you want to be
the
on the
one thing
program and talk too?
I'll start off
Yeah.
just so you're aware. So the Claude app that's on your phone is not Claude Cowork or Claude Code, which is the AI agents. Essentially, the app that you have on your phone with Claude, yes, it might have access to some of that stuff if you turn it on. But for the most part, it's no different than the Chat GPT or the Gemini model where you ask it a question and you have a conversation with it and you have saved conversations. From what I've seen, you have to like access the Claude Cowork and or the Claude Code in order for it to be an AI agent where it starts doing stuff autonomously. So
Okay.
essentially, all I have on my phone is Claude, like essentially the conversation. So it's like Claude Chat is essentially what it's called. So that is not different from it is and it isn't. It's not an AI agent that's all of a sudden going to start like spamming posts onto your socials. So
Okay.
that's, I think, something I think you need to differentiate from the different pieces. I have the Claude app like on my laptop that as the Claude Cowork, like you tab over and it becomes Cowork and Code, and then there's AI agents that you can use. Right now I don't have access to that on my phone.
Okay.
Yeah. So you definitely have to separate out between agents and application, right? So, if the Claude app does not have access to anything except what you give it or prompt it, agents are a whole other world, and agents are what actually can be autonomous and go do something based on what you've given it access to. The most classic one right now is OpenClaw, right? OpenClaw is a personal assistant agent that is has been sweeping GitHub for months now because you can make it do too much. It's a very, very powerful autonomous agent that can connect to your Outlook, connect to 365, connect to your computer in general, and very easily go do stuff.
Well,
It's got I think the last count was it was either 1,000 or 10,000 actions that it can do. I can't remember exactly, but it is a go look up OpenClaw. It's an amazing agent. It's
And
crazy. So
that's the one people are
those are
buying the
good.
sorry. No, those are the ones that people are buying those Apple minis because you give it a prompt and it will all of a sudden be like, oh, I don't know that. Let me charge your card for this training course so I can learn how to do it. And then all of a sudden, then your card's being charged. And that's only been that I've heard through OpenClaw. So like
Yeah.
a claw, not claw. And so
okay.
that's why people are buying these kind of air gapped computers, giving it like a specific credit card so that if it does need to charge, it has its limits and boundaries. So that's a big thing. Whereas Cowork, I can give it Claude Cowork, I can give access to like a tab or a screen, and it will create me like Google ads, or it'll create different things. I have it create second lap graphics and doing stuff like that where it'll create something as an agent. So there's like Zapier is one of those where you can kind of create AI agents and different things. Whereas Claude in general, the chat function is no different than like the Chat GPT, and it's also limited because it doesn't create any kind of image or graphics as like Google Gemini's Nano Banana and different things or videos that Gemini can do. So that's
My,
it's
con- my
understanding
concern,
these different.
my, yeah, my concern, which I want to get on camera, is like the siphoning of information, like the leaking of data, the anything that I don't want to be responsible for giving it to the system.
Well,
Then don't
leaking
put it
of
on your
data.
phone.
No, I mean, because at the end of the day, again, the app doesn't have access to anything that you don't give it access to.
Okay.
So, and then it gets in, then we get into a whole other realm. So we get into a realm of what version of, I don't care what AI it is, OpenAI, Anthropic, Copilot, um, Google. If you're using the free version of any of the tools, you have no rights and they do what they want with the data and whatever you upload to it, right? That goes to the back end model. It goes to the global pool of data of an AI. It's used
Yeah.
for training. And if somebody prompt injects Claude in Spain and does a data dump and your data was actually in that dump, it's out, right? As you get up in the paid tiers, all the players start to then isolate what you put into it and keep silos around what you upload. It never goes to use for training data. It never goes into the global LLM, right? It's housed differently. So versions matter when it comes to any of the AI prompts that any of the prompt versions that you use. That all that crap matters because free, it's wide open. But then as you get higher in the tier, it's more isolated what your data is used for.
Okay. Well,
And this is
I'd ask the same thing about Grok.
Yep,
Because
same
that's
thing
what
with Grok.
okay, because I pay for Grok. I don't have anything for free. So I would think that I'm getting some protection, but I
Yeah,
don't
but
know. Let's
it's protection from like what's already like essentially it's the firewall of your phone, but if like it's an AI agent, if for whatever reason it wants to kind of breach that firewall, it will. And that's why some of the people have been, I heard somebody say, don't be submitting legal questions to any of these AI agents. Like if you're all of a sudden getting sued because you had some sort of tax evasion, like don't be submitting everything that you're putting into these AI agents is submissible in court. Like they can like subpoena that stuff. And so that's where it's like there is some sort of access point for whatever that you're submitting into any of these things. So it's being smart about what you're putting in versus thinking that you're protected or have some sort of cage around whatever that you're submitting.
Well, again, well, that the legal thing is fun. We talk to lawyers all the time in business around AI because the court cases that are happening will blow your mind. There's so many court cases that have already happened where a lawyer has used an AI agent to create briefs and then found out it was all made up hallucination. A defendant used AI, the free model, to ask it legal questions, and it came to light, and the judge was like, "Nope, all of this is inadmissible, and it can't be used," and it was a big deal. So the legal side is actually very fascinating because it gets into we're breaking into copyright, IP protection, a whole bunch of stuff that's happening at the legal section.
38,575 is why I keep going off camera.
Oh. But I mean, at the end of the day, I trust. I have more trust in an AI model that I'm paying for on my computer than I do Google. So,
Okay. And
because at
that's
the end of
fair.
the yeah, I mean, I don't have any qualms about where it's going or what it can't do because contractually I pay for the versions that, legally speaking, they don't touch anything that I don't want it to touch, and it's not going to the back end model, right?
They
I'll
know
leave
a
it
lot
here,
about
and
my stuff.
you can officially. I was like, I'll dip out. You can officially start your show.
Oh,
Are we doing the music, or are we off?
You've been live for 10 minutes.
Okay, I had no idea. All right, I asked a lot of questions. Interesting. Welcome to Second Lap. 38,575 for those that are keeping score. I've had some good runs. I'm running on shoes that are about 200 miles past their good on date, so my knees and my ankles have been sore. And I'm going to get some new shoes either today or tomorrow. So we are lucky to have Brian Eduardo back.
howdy.
And your camera, I don't know if you're on or
No, I'm here. I had to get a security code.
okay.
Sorry.
You're good. Okay, so I believe you're on screen and I can see you and you can see me. Welcome.
Yes. Howdy.
Okay. Happy Monday. I am going to remember which day of the week it is. We do this on Wednesday a lot. I appreciate you fitting us into your calendar and your schedule. It's been
Always.
hard. It's been hard as friends because we have communicated a couple of times not to dip into a couple of the subjects that I wanted to talk about so that we would still be live and real and not sound like either one of us had rehearsed any of this. Not that we would ever put that level of effort into this kind of a program. I just said it out loud. The first thing that I wanted to talk about is Brian and I met in the military. We met when we were in the Navy back in the early 1990s, so 35-ish, ish years ago.
Oh,
And
crazy.
back then, I chose, and I think I talked about this as part of one of my Learn Gramps stories. I joined the Navy almost not really on accident, but on, a divine course, meaning I was getting my act together. I had come back from Southern California to Washington. I was going to college and I got meningitis, and meningitis put me in the hospital. That put me out of midterms. I was going to fail every class that I was in, and I basically went down, took the ASVAB, did delayed entry program, and joined the Navy and was able to do what I wanted. I don't know if I've asked you your story. How did you ultimately enlist?
Oh my God. So I graduated high school in 89. I went to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University because I wanted to fly planes.
Okay.
I was the love affair with flying. My room looked like an homage to anything with wings on it, dude.
Okay.
It was crazy. So I lived and breathed Top Gun for years.
Yeah.
But went to school, and from Pittsburgh, I went to Daytona Beach, Florida to go to school.
Okay.
Bad choice. So I started flying, but I was flying planes, but I was partying like an animal. And after the first, my 2 semesters were just atrocious. And I was like, I can't make my father waste this much money, because I wasn't ready mature wise to go back to school. So I took 6 months, I think. I don't know how many months, just worked, partied still. And then it's like, screw it, let's go to the military. I've always wanted to be in the military. So joined the Navy because I had a desire to go down a certain path. I wanted to be a SEAL. Went in on the dive fair program which was a special program where your goal is to get you into either a Navy diver, Navy SEAL, EOD, or something along those lines. But that's what got me to go to boot camp in Pensacola instead of Chicago, which was phenomenal.
Yes.
But I went to school, went to boot camp, but then got into hospital corpsman. Ended up going to 3 schools. Corpsman school. Then I went to Oh no, two schools. I went to A school, then I went to C school to be a specialist in aviation medicine.
Okay.
Um, and that's how I ended up at the F-18 squadron because I found out getting into buds, which is SEAL training, is just as hard as trying to get through the damn training. So I couldn't get orders. They wouldn't give me orders to buds. So yeah,
So
it was
you
fun.
ultimately chose the Navy because you had
A
a
plan.
predisposed plan, right? That said, hey, this is what I want to do. So that makes sense of why you chose that. I chose to follow my dad. Basically, he was an AT, so it seemed safe for me to do that. Originally, I had signed up for 6 years and was going to do ET, then back to four. I kept flirting with this do more than you're four.
Yeah.
And ultimately I got out, just under four with the early program. But mine was driven by my father and really the ignorance to the rest, meaning everything that I'd seen from Full Metal Jacket or Aliens or any of these Hollywood extrapolations of the military. I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I'd rather, like you, fell in love with Top Gun, had the motorcycle. That was sort of my path. But knowing what I know now as an elder, wisdom, the shepherd stuff that we talk about,
Yeah.
and you being a prof, I don't know if that's the right way to say it, you being
Yep.
an educator, when the youth come up and they say, Brian, I'm thinking about, going to serve my country, and they could have a whole myriad of reasons from family to patriotism or what have you, but that they want to go serve. What and this is the part where we didn't share. What would your response be? Would it be go join the Navy?
I honestly, I field this question on a regular basis, so I do have an answer because I get questions about employment, military, government, etc. And I actually tell students, like, if you're not looking at the military coming out of this program, you should be. You're graduating with a college degree. So I
Right,
tell them, you need to go in as an officer. Don't look at the enlisted ranks unless there's something very specific that only that path will take you.
right.
All of you can be officers, which are two different worlds in the military between enlisted and officership, right? Two
Yep.
different worlds. And I tell them, if depending on what you're looking at, Air Force, Navy, Army, Marine Corps,
In that
and
order.
in that order, right?
Thank
Because
you.
Air
Thank you.
Force, yeah, Air Force and Navy are going to be technical. They're going to be have the positions that, like my students are all computer science, cybersecurity people. Air Force and Navy, they're going to have careers in that path, uh, right? And you can make I tell my students, 20 years, blink of an eye, and you're full retired, right? That means a lot. It may seem impossible right now at 21, 22 years old, but
Right.
like take it from a 55-year-old, 20 years old, blink of an eye, and it's gone. So don't overlook the military as an option.
I like it. There are still programs and ways, and I think what I would add on as we're educating our 20-year-old selves that we're talking to right now, you you getting to choose, with wars and some of these other crazy chaotic things that are happening in the time right now, you would be choosing which service you're in. And as Brian, elected, the bottom two of those four are, usually where you're, either wearing Kevlar or you're aware of, shrapnel and other things that you need to be, watching for EOD. I'm trying to think of the way they talk about the, stuff on the sides of the road and things like that.
Oh,
Um,
IEDs.
Thank you. Thank you. I knew you would know. My point was, I would go to as far as say, you get to choose. I would do the exact same orders you did. I would choose Air Force because they have air conditioning.
Yes.
I mean, that's literally, and I'm saying that sarcastically. And I
Yeah.
think it's the truth. I remember going to Nellis, and when we would go up and do the, the fighting and the stuff, they had
Yeah.
air conditioning, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's almost 100 degrees. Why don't we have air? Because we're the
Yeah.
Navy.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah. I would tell him. I mean, I would always get deeper into the story and tell him, like, well, Air Force is number one because it's pampered. Anytime,
Yes.
all three branches, when they go to an Air Force base, they're like, "Are you kidding me? Is this for real?" Because it's clean, the food is good, the barracks are beautiful, they're new, and everything's. It's just a pampered lifestyle compared to the other three, right?
Yes.
But then
Thank
I
you.
also have the conversation too. It's like, everybody worries about war and the bad part of being in the military, but you're only exposed to those things if you're doing a specific job, right? Marine Corps is built to fight.
Right.
Army is built to fight. They're frontline troops. Navy, you're on a ship, unless you're going to be EOD, Navy SEAL, a couple other components that are tied to those worlds, which you better be a one percenter because it's not like anybody and their grandmother gets into those rules.
Right.
You're not going to be in combat unless you choose a specific skill set that goes into combat and that's challenging between the Air Force and the Navy. There's very specific routes you have to take.
Right.
Army and Marine Corps, yeah, you're pretty much guaranteed you're going to be somewhere really close to flying bullets.
I'm chuckling just because literally I can hear the
Yep,
by my head
exactly.
as you were
Yeah,
saying that. And I had a
yeah.
cousin. So when I was off the coast of in the Persian Gulf, off the coast of Somalia, my cousin was in the army, and he was part of that whole, Mogadishu Black Hawk
Yeah,
Down scenario. And it's like,
yeah.
yeah. Anyway, so the long way that we have answered this question is, if you're thinking about, well, I started to pose it as if you're thinking about the military as an option. And I heard you say, hey, I'm kind of pushing my people to at least make sure it's on the list. It's
Yep.
considered. It's not, I'm not forcing them to go that direction, but it is a, what would you call it? More structured? Like, I don't know if it's less political. I'm trying to think of, I'm the benefits of why you would want to be, an O5 as opposed to a director of IT. Like, I'm trying to think of what would be the benefit of that logic.
Well, that's an easy one
Travel the
too.
world.
Travel, well, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, there's so many reasons to go into the military, uh, and not just for, yeah, you're going to have a great career. You're going to have guaranteed benefits. You're going to have guaranteed pay structure. You're going to have to, you're going to travel. You're going to see and do things that most people will never do in their entire life. In 4 years, I had more awe-inspiring moments of things that no one will ever understand unless you
Right.
go do it. That right there is priceless in a world where not enough people travel. But you also, and this is more specific towards IT computer world, is that the job market in the IT space has not been good for years, and it ain't getting better. And if you think it's going to get better, it's not. Going into the military is a very viable option for graduating people in the tech space. So there's people our age who are struggling to find work. I know people who've been out of work for over a year because of
Yeah.
reduction. I know new grads can't get in the door because there is no such thing as an entry level position anymore. Uh, it's a very the technology side is a very hard market right now, and there's thousands of people looking for work. Yeah, I
Well,
probably
I
shouldn't say
resemble
this
that
on this
remark.
call. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
so did I. Same thing here, man. You're not alone in this bucket. But the one
Well,
thing I also tell my students is that no, the one thing that I would tell people is like who are thinking about wanting to go into the IT space is like you may want to rethink that. Um, you may want to rethink the category of where you're going, like especially when it comes to cyber or programming. The traditional technology roles are so radically changing right now. I mean, I'm even talking to robotics people who are. I was surprised by this. Even that job market is a little goofy. Yeah,
interesting.
that
Well,
was
but
some.
it takes us
Yeah,
into, and I don't I'm try to interrupt you. It takes us into the second thing that I had talked about us talking about, which is working for the man or working for yourself,
yeah.
and what that's like. And I'm not gonna the water, but I am gonna share that in our off-camera conversations, the way you describe how you sleep, the way that you describe, the way that you look at things and how, why did it take me so long? Those are the kind of responses and things that I remember, you talking about. And it feels like you're excited about it. I in a similar position to you, have not looked at it because I have felt, and this is part of the conversation of, hey, I'm validating that I'm feeling correct in this. And it's also um, the reason that I haven't sort of gone the direction is I feel that most of what I have investigated and thought about would require me to be more rooted to a location as
Oh,
opposed to what I've been in the past, which is, working for an organization, but, home office and in sort of that direction. So that's, like I said, I don't know that I'm 100% correct. I don't know that if there's some niche, but in the general perspective, the people that have reached out to me from a franchise perspective have been like insurance brokers, like working for State
ah,
Farm as an example,
yeah. Don't do
or
that.
one of these companies where it feels like I'm locked to a bench and I'm going to stop talking. But that you went that way as
Yeah.
opposed to working for the man.
Yeah, well, so let's. What we should probably do is bring. I don't know if you want to bring it up real quick. Is like in no February of 2025. I was a workforce reduction from Dell after 28-year career in the Fortune 500 space, and as soon as I was let go, my first instinct was I am done with corporate. I'm not going back. I'm not doing the rat race. I'm not going to struggle because I already knew that the tech sector was brutal and I was going to do my own thing. And so I ended up going down a franchise rabbit hole and I ended up opening up what is known as a Team Logic IT. So it's my own MSP. Yes, it's a franchise, but it's my company that I run with my wife. So my wife and I opened this up ourselves. It's an entrepreneurial action because we have to build the business. We're building it. We're creating the relationships. It's
Right.
ours to run. So
Okay.
um,
And
the
that's
whole
typical of most franchises, or is it a different model than
it's
most
a
franchises?
it can be it is different because like if you open up a Jersey Mike's. So as
Okay.
I just met a guy who specializes in opening Jersey Mike's.
So
There's a whole bunch of rules there. It's your business, but you're tied to Jersey Mike's for everything. So like
from a
their
branding perspective.
even branding supplies. So Subway, Jersey Mike's, all those
Right.
places, you're buying all of your stuff from them.
Okay.
Like I can't go down to the local Costco and buy my meats and my breads and all this stuff. They're your supplier. But Like
Right.
my franchise has a very low franchise fee. They mandate 3 pieces of software that I have to use. After that, it's up to me to use what I want in my business, what I like, what works for me and my clients. So it's a very open model that,
Okay.
and the support, they do all my Google SEO and marketing and advertising. They take care of all that bullshit. We do all the physical networking and all that. It's a, the reason we chose it is the model that they have as a franchise is phenomenal. At
Okay.
the time, I was like, why the hell would I want to go into this space? I know what this space is like. It's highly competitive, it's swamped, it's overloaded. But we kept coming back to the model of the company and going, this is too good to be true. And it's just, they really are a good company. Because
Okay.
we looked at massage, an upcoming massage place that's huge on the West Coast that's slowly moving east. We looked at an IV therapy company that's out of North Carolina that's growing very rapidly. We looked at a couple kids things. We looked at there were some others in there. So we looked at all these non-traditional franchises that were given to us, and we just kept coming back to Team Logic as the provider. And the best part is like we had to be selected. It wasn't here's my money, give me my license to run a franchise. They
Right.
had to select us. It took like 4.5 months for them to finally say, we like you. Let's come out to California and meet the owners of the company. And then if everything goes well, you can sign then. So,
I remember
but
that
it,
trip.
yeah, it was fun. So, but every franchise is different. Every franchise has its own rules, its own fee structure, has its own opening price. Like a brick and mortar establishment is going to cost you anywhere from $300,000 to $600,000 to open. A non-brick, like I funded this myself. I was able, the entry point was so affordable. I funded it myself.
Okay.
I was able to do that because of my corporate gig, and I was able to save so much money. Um, but everything is different, and it all depends on what you want to do. Some of them, let's take a Jersey Mike's for example. Like after talking to this guy, he's opening a number of them. Like he's opening chains, and he's not running the Jersey Mike's. He's not in the store every day. He's the business owner. So
Okay.
you hire the staff that runs the restaurant while you go do another one. So some franchises, some businesses that you open may require way more effort on your part, or you're making big network connections to help the business, but you have people who do the day to day, right?
Interesting.
So
Yep.
it all depends on what you want. And location wise, he's actually opening, he's in two realms. This guy's in Jersey Mike's and Fox's Pizza. And
Okay.
I just found this out. He's opening up Fox's Pizza in Colorado because apparently Colorado is a pizza desert.
Interesting. I go to Colorado, and I'm trying to think, even in my bride, in Annie's hometown, which is Meeker on the western slope, I don't I don't think there's a pizza joint in town. So
Yeah,
weird. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that. Huh.
that's what the guy told us. We had a fascinating conversation with this guy just a couple weeks ago. And apparently, it's a huge opportunity to open up Fox's Pizza in Colorado. So he's got partners that he's going to open up, like I think a half a dozen of them in Colorado.
Do you feel, as your friend, I'm asking this as your friend, do you
Yeah,
feel that you could do that with your knowledge of that food on your body?
yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't worry about pizza. That
You're
doesn't.
okay with that? Is that
Yeah,
an integrity
absolutely.
thing where like you're selling
No,
drugs to teenagers?
no. I would be more not with pizza. I would be
No
like
pizza. Okay.
I would be more around like an acai bowl place. Those places are bullshit. Nothing but cake, not
Okay. Yeah, that's
Those would be
crack.
bad. That's crack. Yeah, I'm not gonna do
Okay.
that. But pizza, I eat pizzas still. I mean, it's timed and planned for, but I got nothing against pizza. I don't think that's a that doesn't weigh on my conscience for
Okay.
anything bad.
Okay. Interesting. I would struggle because if I had a pizza joint, I'd find myself wanting to have pizza more often, and it would be, that my seat at the bar where I walk up and they've
Yeah,
already got
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah, yeah,
already
yeah,
got a piece of
yeah,
pie, as they call it,
yeah.
sitting there on a plate for me.
Exactly. But I'll tell you what, dude, I still think you may want to go talk to a franchise broker. I'll send you the guy that we worked for because you have the right because I think we've talked about this, but not on the call. Is like there's a difference between working in your business and working on your business, right?
Right.
You would be the guy working on the business. You would be the networking. You would be going to all the events. You would be making contacts. And then whatever you do, you would have to hire the day-to-day employee or employees, right? You
Right.
would be the business development guy who's not stuck in an office. You would be doing what you do now,
I
except for
would talk-
yourself.
Yeah, I would talk to your guy. I would love to have somebody sell me on it. Um, I would love for somebody to sell me on it. I
All right.
feel, I see. Hi, Brian. I'm sorry. I was gonna say hi, hi, Ronnie. I. It's funny. The thing I was gonna tell you, and the thing that I was gonna share with you, I'm interviewing, and I'm looking at the least resistant way to get back into the stream is to do something in the way that we've done things in the past, which means working for an organization and selling, which is what I've done.
Yeah.
I am looking to get outside of cyber, as you said. I feel between you, me, and everybody that subscribes to this podcast, I think cyber is every company that I know of or am familiar with is telling the same damn story right now. How
Yep.
do you differentiate between 25 people telling you the same? I'm gonna use French, friggin' story. Like it's like
Yeah.
everybody's an AI. What is it?
Oh,
Everybody is an AI uh, governance tool. That's what it
yeah.
is. We're all becoming AI governance tools because that's what's going to happen. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I don't want to be the 25th AI governance tool, but anyways, I'm talking to somebody, and the thing that I was going to share with you, and then you can talk because I feel like I'm holding you hostage from speaking. The thing was, I'm talking to a guy, and I've had 90 plus days that I haven't been working. I've been in, the tremor free, CRM, Salesforce free, forecast free.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of how to say it in a humorous way where if somebody that I'm working for sees this later, they don't feel like they're killing me.
It is what it is. I
But
mean,
they're killing me.
they're killing you. Yeah. I, I,
It's
I, I tell this to students, go back to the military question and careers. Like I tell my students as well, it's like, hey, look, there's nothing wrong with working with big companies. It's gonna be soul sucking and filled with politics and all this other crap, but it pays well and it has benefits. I also tell them don't put all your eggs in the big corporate world. Go start looking at small businesses. Go start looking at the medium sized places because there's just as much all the new grads want to go to Meta, Google, Anthropic, Claude,
right.
Microsoft, SAP, Oracle. Is like, you may want to start looking local.
My buddy's been laid off from Microsoft since November just to
Yeah.
bring it full circle. So it's
Yeah.
not an answer to everything. And
No.
no,
Nope, not at
I
all.
hear you. I hear you. And I,
Knowing you as long as I have and knowing your personality, man, you would be awesome. You would love to run your own business. love to run. And that's the beauty of franchise is that you're not building something from zero.
Right.
You're walking into an established model.
Right.
The clients are at zero, but you're working with a complete business that here, we've given you the infrastructure, go make it work. I've
I
not
hear
had
you.
this much fun in years. Uh, honest to God, it's a lot of
This
work, but it's fun as hell.
I hear you, and I will. As I said, I'll make the call. I'll have the conversation. The guy that I'm talking to, one of the potential suitors,
Yeah.
and this is what I was starting to say. It took me a long way to get around the tree. He and I are talking, and he looked down and he's looking at my printed out resume, and he looks back up and he looks back down and he goes, "You've been out for over 90 days now, huh?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, I'm out 90 days. You can't get me back in the system. Like I'm not getting back on the treadmill. Like I will have known what it's like to be off the treadmill. This is the guy that's trying to suit me in to work for him. And this is the words he's saying. And I'm like, is this one of those moments where I'm like supposed to be listening to this guy? Is he like really? Or is he trying to test out, hey, maybe this guy's not as hungry? You know, because in my role as sales, that's what everybody's after. Everybody's
Yeah.
after a guy that's hungry. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, I'm hungry. And you also want the guy that's successful. So, as hungry as I can be, I also could be successful. I don't know. They don't always seem like they go hand in hand. And I need to have that conversation. And you've answered through all of the words that you've used, and I haven't asked specifically a lot, but the way that you've talked about enjoying what you're doing again and being a part of all that, and I don't know, I don't know if working with Grace is part of that. Like, hey,
Oh, yeah.
that was an instant response. You can further respond if you'd like.
Oh no, I'll tell you what, honest to God, I mean, we literally just had this conversation over the weekend. I mean, us opening the business together and running the business together has brought us closer
Good.
and helped build the relationship even stronger because of it.
You think
Uh,
it's like
uh
a shared, you guys share the war stories, or you think it's, hey, now she understands all the shit that you dealt with for all those years? You know what I mean? As an internal kind of guy?
it's yes to but yes to that. Absolutely. Yes. Now she
Okay.
sees behind the green curtain about what it takes
Right.
to run IT. But at the same time, like I have told her for years is that her skill sets are being wasted as a manager. Yeah, because she loves the side that she does because she's you. She's the
Right.
networker. She's the business development person. She's grown so much in the last 7 months just from that professional aspect as a business owner. Like I tell her all the time, I can't wait to see what you look like in a year and a half from now because she's making these connections with CIOs and she's big on uh the woman led business piece. So,
Right.
she's having lunches with CTOs, CIOs, some C level suite every week that she met at a networking event. And it's just like she's building her reputation up as a professional. And it's phenomenal to see. But from a
That's great.
yeah, it's a lot of it's a blast. We're yeah, working with her has made this a lot more fun. And it's actually why we're very successful so far. Yeah.
You talked about opening up a massage business. Most
Yeah.
people don't know this. In 2020, as the world is deteriorating and things are falling apart, I'm getting my hair cut and my chiropractor every 4 weeks to stay sane. And you guys became massage therapists.
Yep. We graduated massage school and then like 3 months later, the world shut down. We had plans. We were gonna open up a little studio, have some therapists in place, and
Yeah.
we were gonna do our own thing. And then yeah, the world shut down and then yep, that went right out the window because 2, 3 years later we had completely stopped practicing massage.
Okay, I was going to ask you. That's out of your system.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I need
The
a
one,
massage so bad, and I'm trying to figure out.
oh,
It sounds to me like it's just
dude.
more economical for me to go pay somebody to do it than it is to get my wife
Oh,
tuned
oh
up.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Go look. So the place that we looked at, the franchise is called The Now.
The now.
NOW. The Now. Yeah. See if you
Okay.
have any in Texas. If they have one or close to you, go to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
Yeah. We
now.
actually, when we went to California for the franchise stuff, we were there for an extended week for training. They had one close to where we were. Dude, we
Okay.
went there twice. It was, part of us was like, shit, this would have been a good one to open.
Right. Right. Okay. I'll check it out. The now.
The
Um,
Now. Yeah.
in the spirit of nutrition, and I'm getting into the third quadrant of us, what we were going to talk about. I am, I plateaued as of a weight, sort of kind of stuck in an area. I need to start doing a little bit more, like stomach, sit ups, that kind of
Oh.
thing, work my body, but I've kind of plateaued. And so I've really started to think, this is just me just setting the table. I'm not at the store at the question yet. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been going back to and listening to other, people that are on the journey that talk about, hey, I just eat all of my protein calories before I eat any other calories as a way to always be smart or to do. So my question, and it's the health segment. Ronnie and I were talking about doing segments. The real
Yeah.
health segment is protein slash carbs. Is it all bullshit? Is it mostly bullshit? Is it, hey, this is the way that you can be healthy without overthinking it as an overthinker? But what do you feel if I was not who I was and I walked up and say, hey, Brian, I'm going to talk to you about protein and carbs.
All right. Well, one, meal prep, meal prep, meal prep, meal prep.
Okay.
So, is it all bullshit? It depends on what the question actually is. So I've done keto, I've done fasting, I've done carnivore, I've done primal, I've fallen into some.
Vegetarian?
No, hell no. Don't do
Okay.
vegetarian.
Okay.
We can have a whole sidebar conversation about vegetarian, but I've done them all. So, context. My entire life, I have fought weight. My body is real good at putting on weight. From the time I was a child all the way through until I hit about 40, I've always struggled and yo-yoed with weight. So it's something that I've always battled with. I've been able to
Right.
maintain the same weight for 15 years now. And I finally figured out how my body works, number one, and what to eat and what not to eat. So, carbs, proteins, and fats. You got to include the fats in this equation.
Yep.
At the end of the day, it is a calorie component to lose or gain weight or maintain, right? You either lose, you maintain, or you're gaining. And gaining is about packing on muscle. If
Right.
you're lifting heavy, you need more calories in order to build. It's just plain and simple.
Right.
If you're lifting but want to maintain, you're in the just maintenance mode, you have that calorie range. And if you want to lose, you want to cut, you got to be under. End of the day, you got to be under the calories. It comes into play on the quantities between the carb, the proteins, and the fat, because as I've come to realize over the last few months, so my wife is on a journey right now. She's down 16 pounds, and we've completely changed.
Congrats.
We, oh, thank you. Oh, she's so happy. It's ridiculous. Um, but we've changed. We've gotten into counting macros, counting calories at the end of the day. You have to know what you're eating. And it's not as challenging as you may think. In today's space, there's so many applications that are do it, but protein needs to be primary.
Okay.
So like she needs 150 grams of protein a day. I'm closer to the 200 range. So right there, if you need to hit 150 grams of protein a day, that's going to dictate a certain calorie range.
Right.
And beef is always going to be more expensive than chicken or turkey or fish because of the leanness of the meat. So
Okay.
you can we average about 5 to 600 calories a meal, and each meal is about 40 to 50 grams of protein in it, and then carbs are is usually very low.
Okay.
uh Vegetables, eat them till your heart's content, because you can eat a bucket of broccoli and not have
Right.
negligible
Right.
calories. So protein needs to be primary. And the more protein you eat, your hunger pains will go away, right? You'll be full longer than anything else. Um yeah, after I would have to sit and like calculate things for you, but
What's the
uh
ratio of fat to the rest of it?
fat is minimal, because fat is a calorie, is
Okay.
higher calories. So you have to be careful with the fats. So those are controlled and measured very specifically.
And
Um,
that's things like avocado for the person that's listening.
yeah,
Okay.
avocado, butter, olive oil, milk, cottage
Okay.
cheese, all the dairy products. Like
Right.
you have to switch to reduced fat cheeses, 2% milk. You have to look at you have to really start reading your labels, because fat is easy to overeat because it's delicious. Let's face
Right.
facts.
Yep.
Yogurts. We look at the yogurts that you're eating. 2% yogurt is a great food. We go through it by the big jug of yogurt, because here's an example of a meal. You take one serving of 2% yogurt, which is 170 grams.
Okay.
That's 13 grams of protein. Throw in a scoop of unflavored or flavored protein powder. Add another 20 grams of protein onto that. Now you've
Yep.
got 23 grams or 33 grams of protein. Fill that with fruit.
Right.
That's a breakfast, right? And that'll last you until lunch. Then lunch should be 40 to 50 grams of protein, but it shouldn't be over 5 or 600 calories, right? And then you're good for there. So we eat a ton of ground chicken breast, lean turkey, and very lean beef, like 96%
Okay.
lean beef, because it
Okay.
keeps the
Really?
calorie count. Oh yeah, it keeps, because 96% lean means the difference between like 400 calories between 80% lean.
Wow.
So,
See, I was, and that's why we're having this conversation. I was
yeah,
always of the understanding that you'd want 80/20 ground beef so that you got the extra fat for the
fat.
brain and the other stuff.
Yeah. Well, and it's a fine line between how much fat your body needs and how much it's easy to consume,
Okay.
right?
And
So,
it's the
like what
density of the calories which is really getting you. Okay.
exactly? Yeah. Here's the deal. Here's an easy equation. And you a 25-year-old in 10 years, between 25 and 35, puts on 100 pounds. That's only 10 pounds a year.
Right.
That only equates to 95 extra calories a day, right? That's all
That's
that
nothing.
equates. That is nothing.
Nothing.
And the problem, it's so until and the problem is, until you are ready to actually count your calories, what you think you're eating is not what you're eating.
Yeah.
And
Anybody
then
that
that,
anybody that needs an argument, go look up what a serving of peanut butter is.
oh my God, yes,
Nobody has ever
exactly.
eaten a serving of peanut butter in their life.
Hell no. Half a jar, sure. And
Yeah.
the other thing that people do too is like they think they're real good Monday through Friday, right?
Right.
They don't snack, they don't do this, they don't do that. And then Friday hits, and then it's the equation is like they're at 1,600 calories a day Monday through Friday. But then Friday hits and it goes to 2,500. Saturday's 3,000 and Sunday's 4,000 worth of calories,
Right.
right? It only takes 1,000 extra calories a week to put on a pound of fat.
I was going to
And
say, and you just added like 3,200 extra calories in that three
exactly.
days.
Yeah. And people don't think
Oh.
that that matters, but it matters, right?
Yes, it's math. It's math. It all adds up. Yeah. I
It's
don't even.
math. And the other thing that it's hard, and I chased this for years, which is one of the reasons I failed. You cannot work out a bad diet. Exercise does not burn fat, right? You don't earn the chocolate bar. You don't earn the ice cream. That's not how the body works.
So
Your
all those
body
people are
burns.
lying, right? Hey, I'm going to do this so
Yeah,
I can do this later. And that's what I'm hearing you
exactly.
say is that's bullshit.
That's bullshit. That's not how the
Damn.
body works. The body burns fat when you're sleeping. It's when you're recovering and the body does all of its cleanup and process and building of muscle and trying to recover from the day's activities. That's when it burns fat. You breathe, fat is burned and breathed out of your lungs. It's released as a gas. Farting and burping, or farting and breathing is is how your body burns off fat. It's
Man.
a kick in the ass. Nobody understands how the body really works. We have so much bad information. This is where I'll tie into the uh oh my god, what's it called? False information. Shit, I lost
Right.
the name. But it's the body works differently than how everybody thinks it actually works. And until you are ready to actually count calories, look at your diet, and be very real with yourself, it can be a challenge.
I agree.
But yeah,
And one of the biggest things that you hit on, which we'll talk next time, is most of us live that same time period that we're describing of
yeah.
I'll sleep when I'm dead. So you're compounding the
Oh,
problem of you're not getting enough sleep, therefore you're not ever getting rid of the fat. So
yep,
yeah, I was gonna say yeah, we're our own worst enemy, but
yep,
because of time and phone signal, all of this stuff, I think I'm going to let you get back to your day
yeah,
job.
yes, sir.
I really do appreciate your time
Always.
and any parting wisdom.
Um, Go open your own business.
On that note, it was good seeing you. Thanks, Ronnie. Appreciate it, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Monday.
Take care, brother. Have a good one.
All right. You too.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.